sure you guys are using watercolor paper for this activity. I recommend diluting the watercolors with the paint palette attached to the watercolor trays. That way the paint is not going to be too thick. If your paint comes out really shiny, it's because you're using it more like a tempera paint and less like a watercolor. So you always want to make sure you're using watercolors the right way. Now, a lot of times people don't realize that you can use markers as paint. The Crayola washable markers are water-based, so even when they're dried out, you can dip them in water and paint with them, or you can even put water onto them after you've drawn with them, and you can get some really nice effects. I'm focusing on using the tip of the brush, and I'm applying the water in a controlled manner. And then I'm going to touch the color to the water so you can see how you can really control the paint. Wherever the water goes, the color will also. One of my favorite techniques is called wet on wet. It's where you water the paper down first with clean water, and then when you apply the color to it, it spreads softly throughout the paper. Show you some different techniques using household objects like salt, rubbing alcohol, and just different textures that you can get with watercolors. The resist method could be used with oil pastels or crayons. I'm using the white crayon on top of the white paper, but you could also use crayons or oil pastels on top of the paper after you've painted a wash of color as well. Laying objects on top of the paint can also give you some really nice textures. So I'm going to use a plastic wrap. A lot of times I use this when I'm trying to create the illusion of water, but you could also do wax paper, any kind of textured material like the netting from a potato sack. So I encourage you to experiment with things laying around the house and just letting it dry on top of the paint. And then after the paint dries, you can pull it off and it will leave the same texture. Holding the brush vertically will help you use the very tip of the brush. This is really important when using fine details with paint.